Today, I learned a lesson about buttholes they don't teach you in medical school. People who steal your signature role are the biggest buttholes of all. No, I don't blame MetaQuest. Neil Patrick Harris is an amazing actor with the nurturing voice of an angel. But even though I haven't hit puberty yet, I still know when you're getting totally screwed.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Ryan Reynolds released a new Deadpool video parodying himself, Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser, and just a whole bunch of Game of Thrones Targaryen, keep it in the family kind of energy. Also, a couple jokes about his wife, Blake Lively, going on during this too, because he is actually related to Robin Lively. There's a bunch of jokes and Easter eggs going on in here, like Ryan Reynolds making fun of himself, Marvel replacing him as the Deadpool character with Neil Patrick Harris, and just what's going on in general. So we'll break it all down. Really love the way that he's leaning into all the jokes lately about Marvel trying to fire him as the Deadpool character without literally telling him. Normally you wouldn't expect it from someone, but Ryan Reynolds seems like he really does love leaning into all the lawsuit jokes. Because as of right now, they already revealed that Ryan Reynolds is currently in the middle of working on a brand new X-Men X-Force project for Marvel, but that's still years away from actually happening. Like, that's not something that's going to be happening in the next couple of years. That's like several years down the line. So there is still some Ryan Reynolds Deadpool stuff happening. He is supposed to come back as the Deadpool character at some point during either Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe both of them. We will see. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because we're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine energy here, like them coming back, will also come back too, separately at some point too, during these next Avengers movies. I know there are a ton of questions just because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with him in real life. There's all the lawsuit stuff that's going on with Justin Baldoni. So just in general, people always asking when stuff like this happens, like, what is the future of Ryan Reynolds as the Deadpool character at Marvel? Like, are we actually going to see a Deadpool 4? When it comes to stuff like that, it depends on which day, in what context you're actually asking him that question. Like, what is the talk show he's on, and what has currently just happened that he's also promoting, the other projects that he's working on.
You're being paid. This is vindictive and stupid.
But he is a total dude for making fun of himself so much for something like this. I don't know if he was paid by Facebook or Meta or whatever they're calling themselves now, or Marvel for this game. But the way he's posting it, it's meant to be his overreaction to realizing that they've replaced him as Deadpool for this new project with Doogie Howser, aka Neil Patrick Harris, making a very big Doogie Howser parody. If you pause the video, this is actually what it says: Personal Journal of Steel Patrick Fartface, FU, June 7th, 2005, because that was the day that he actually posted this live on his channel. Today I learned a lesson about buttholes they don't teach you in medical school, because Doogie Howser references, like, this is the big Doogie Howser trope, him typing on his computer. People who steal your signature role are the biggest buttholes of all, making fun of Neil Patrick Harris. No, I don't blame MetaQuest. Neil Patrick Harris is an amazing actor with the nurturing voice of an angel, but even though I haven't hit puberty yet, I still know when you're totally getting screwed, as Robin Lively does another Doogie Howser parody when she comes in through the window like Vinny, his friend, did during that series, making the house call joke because doctors making house calls. Even though his childhood bedroom here is meant to be a Doogie Howser show parody because he lived in his childhood bedroom while he was still a doctor at the hospital during that series. There are a couple Deadpool references around the room that he bakes in, like there's the MetaQuest for the actual game that this is for, there's the red light behind him because Deadpool Red. If you didn't watch that show or you don't remember, on the actual show, Robin Lively's character, Nurse Michelle Faber, actually became Doogie's girlfriend before the end of the series, which is why she's in this bit to begin with. Just a bonus that she's actually related to Ryan Reynolds in real life. In the way the rest of the commercial plays out, his reaction plays out, she actually breaks character trying to act like this is real life, and he tries to make it seem like, no, we're actually doing an ad, you were paid. Please, you were paid, continue with the bit that we actually agreed that you were supposed to do. Ryan Reynolds does stuff like this all the time, where like one of the actors will break character and he'll be like, come on, I paid you a lot of money to do this secret parody ad. He literally just did one of these with Linda Carter making a bunch of Wonder Woman jokes, Marvel DC jokes, James Gunn taking over and firing all the original Justice League actor jokes too.
Who did this?
The DC lawyers, I know it.
That's one f***ing ugly sweater.
Yeah, it's probably the same guy that got Cavill and that other Batman.
Sometimes when he does parodies like this and they break character, the jokes are way more complex, like 4 or 5 layers deep. Sometimes they're a little bit simpler. So really your enjoyment of his bits like this when he's making fun of himself and making fun of something that just happened just depends on how big a fan you are of the thing that he is making fun of. Like, do you remember Ryan Reynolds' time as Green Lantern? Yes, everybody remembers that, whether or not they want to. So obviously when he makes fun of DC stuff while he's also making fun of himself, Deadpool, Marvel stuff, just typically winds up being bigger payoffs, bigger jokes. When he starts making the Doogie Howser dad freaking out jokes, like my dad is going to freak if he sees you here, his dad in real life passed away a long time ago. This is where Robin Lively starts breaking character like, what? What are you talking about? When she calls this vindictive and stupid, she's talking about him reacting to being recast as the Deadpool character by Marvel. My assumption when it actually comes to him being recast, like the reason why they got Neil Patrick Harris to do this project instead of Ryan Reynolds doing it, because you just assume that Ryan Reynolds would do all the big projects that Marvel does with the Deadpool character, is probably because they just took so much work over the last several years to actually make the game, and during that period, he was actually busy making the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which takes pretty much all of his attention and energy, which is why he made such a big deal about taking a break from Deadpool right after the movie came out. Like, you know what? It would be amazing to make Deadpool 4, but I really, really want to see my family sometime. So that's why you're hearing about him developing Deadpool, X-Force, Deadpool and Wolverine sequel projects, but like way off in the future that he would only be part of, he wouldn't be like the main character of, just because it seems like the future of the Deadpool character is him trying to develop Deadpool spin-off projects that he can just dip into a little bit, like as a cameo actor, then leave and just control creative so that it doesn't tie up so much of his time and energy. Like the projects themselves, the spin-offs, don't depend on his involvement in them as the Deadpool character to be successful. Which really is an R-rated X-Force franchise separate from the mainline X-Men movies in that team. Like get a really successful X-Force team together that can do their own spin-off projects that are successful, that everybody loves, that don't depend on Deadpool being in them to actually be financially successful at the box office. That really sounds like it's Ryan Reynolds' endgame as the Deadpool character if Marvel really is going to make him do Deadpool until he is 90.
Thank you, Kevin Feige.
Love you, Kevin Feige. Thank you, MCU.
One of the other best examples of this is the classic Deadpool game, like the Deadpool game that everybody talks about when they reference the Deadpool game, came out before Fox ever agreed to let Ryan Reynolds play the Deadpool character in the brand new Deadpool movie, greenlighting that, which is why it was Nolan North and not Ryan Reynolds in that game, was totally blown away when Nolan North didn't wind up playing one of the Deadpool core characters. That would have been the perfect place to put him. There was even a direct reference to the game during the actual movie when they used the Sentinel boot to escape the Ant-Man base. That's actually a bit from the original Deadpool game where you actually use a Sentinel's boot during the game. But it does seem like based on his post here, Ryan Reynolds is planning on doing some project with Nolan North. I'm assuming it involves some sort of voiceover type of project, like it's not them together on screen. Would not be surprised if one of the projects they work on is actually a commercial where Nolan North actually does replace him as the Deadpool character, and they just clown on that. But it's the same phenomenon with Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine in the movies until he's 90, but not doing, say, like all the voiceover for the upcoming video game or like other big video games, other tie-ins, things that are not the movies. Also why he's not doing the voice for Wolverine during X-Men 97. Then the joke about him not wanting to kiss her because she's his sister-in-law is a thing in real life. She's his wife, Blake Lively's half-sister, making her his sister-in-law. Robin and Blake are half-sisters. They have the same mother but different fathers. They probably spent a lot of time hanging out in real life since Ryan Reynolds actually got married to Blake Lively. Like they've probably known each other in real life for a while now. But I think this is the first time they've actually worked together on screen as actors. Also love the joke that she doesn't care about them kissing because they're related, only because it's silly to do on screen. Like, being related doesn't bother her. Game of Thrones for the win, a lot of Targaryen keep it in the family energy going on there. That tag joke at the end, Bugsy Jermarker, is also a Stephen Bochco reference. He created the Doogie Howser show originally in the whole computer typing arrangement with the music, the teenage bedroom vibes that everyone has parodied from the show since then. Like even Neil Patrick Harris himself has parodied this separately on other TV shows and movies he's done as an adult, like How I Met Your Mother. He literally did this same bit. I didn't spend a ton of time watching that original Doogie Howser show back in the day. Let me know in the comments if you actually watched the original Doogie Howser show. Most people nowadays have probably just seen a rerun here or there, or just like seen them parody at some point. It's just been around for so long. When it actually comes to Deadpool showing up in the movies again, like Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, my expectation is they won't tell you that he's going to be in the movie. There'll just be like some light references behind the scenes with other people talking about it, and then you just see him show up in the actual movie itself in some funny moment. Ryan Reynolds said that one of the cornerstones of the character, at least in his mind, is that he relies a lot on surprise. So even though he makes Deadpool references like this constantly and seems like he does Deadpool all the time, in reality, it does sound like they're trying to go with the less is more tactic with Deadpool in the legit Marvel movies, like actually seeing him in a theater on screen. Just because there's so much stuff going on around the new X-Men movie, so much news this dropped, I'll try to do a new video for that as soon as possible, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everybody click here for my Spider-Man brand new day video, and click here for that brand new Fantastic Four video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.